Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show, Hour 2. Big news out of the Windy City, Chi-Town, the south side to be specific. Ron Kittle Bobble Night, still August 10th. Ron Kittle Bobblehead Night, August 10th. They called him, what did they call him, Dan?
Kitty.
Kitty Kittle. But no, the Yanks just made it 3-2 here. It's a barn burner.
Ichiro.
It's a top half of the ninth. Top half of the ninth there. And joining us, a friend of the show, fresh off a Lake Como, Italy, George Clooney hang vacation, the great Chris Mannix.
Spend some quality time with George.
What's up, Chris? Now, you just went to Lake Como, Italy on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's well-known George Clooney has a home there.
It's like there's a sign the way in saying home of George Clooney.
It sounds like that's what they do.
Just to pump it up, you know?
I know. Well, for a while, Eddie Murphy had his place called Bubble Hill in Englewood, New Jersey. And I was, in the late 80s, I was working construction with my uncle. And we said to the guy, we were running wires in this guy's house. And when we got done, we said to the guy, where's Eddie Murphy? He goes, go up to Johnson Avenue and make a right. I think we go, what's the address? He goes, you'll know it's him. So we make a right, huge gate, huge white gate. Yeah. It says Eddie in Bubble Hill. And I'm like, would you be a little more discreet? Because Eddie had the Elvis Presley complex. He wanted to be like Elvis, so he made his version of Graceland. But I assume Clooney might be a little more low-key.
Supposedly his house, and a lot of the really swanky houses out there are completely inaccessible unless by boat. Like you have to,
that's what it sounds like.
It's 2 hours from the airport, and then it's a boat ride to get to most places.
Well, it's funny. I never knew he had that kind of scratch. I mean, I guess he made a lot of movies, make a lot of money. He owns a castle in Italy. I mean,
he's become that guy that's has a flat $15 million fee at this point. I mean,
you're right.
He's reached that.
And he
threshold.
produced too, so he owned like those Ocean's 11 movies. He owned those things.
Yeah,
that's a lot of scratch. What made you choose going there?
I hadn't been before. I wanted someplace relaxing. I'm not a big. When I go on vacation, I don't know about you guys, but I go on vacation, I don't want to do anything. Like, I do not want to go see stuff.
What do you think you're talking to?
Really?
I love doing it. I love going power gliding, shaving, surfing.
I got two friends that are bouncing around the French countryside.
I was going to say, did you go with guys or girls? It was a guy vacation?
Girl, yeah. Oh, yeah. There are two friends bouncing around the French countryside now, and they're going to Italy, and they're going to Spain, too.
Two girls you went with?
No. There are two. Right now, I have some friends overseas doing another type of vacation. They're seeing a bunch of stuff, and I'd rather put a gun in my mouth than do that. Like, that just...
Well, they're very harsh about that.
All I want to do is get up. This is all I did. I got up, I went to the pool, I lay down in the sun,
I like reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
And there you can't get the paper, but I do. That's vacation, especially the Jersey Shore. When I was growing up, I took that right out of my uncle's and my old man and my grandfather's notebook. They would get up, have a cup of coffee, and read the newspaper front to back. What do you want? What do you want, Marie? What? I don't care. I'm on vacation. Well, put a Band-Aid on it.
It's true. You don't want to do anything.
There,
I don't want to go see I mean, granted, there's some very cool historic places.
No, there's not. That's how they get you. They're not cool.
But
we're going to see a shipwreck out by the shut up.
All right.
No,
well, then it's problematic when people make my argument for me. But yeah, that's you're doing it.
I'm with you. John's one of these guys likes doing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I do because my wife likes it.
She'll yap.
See, that's a problem then.
No, but I'm not saying she'll yap. She's just very active.
I saw you roll your eyes. I do not like doing it, but I would.
I've got a wife who's very energetic with a lot of endurance, and I have
It seems like all
three
broads are
hyperactive
energetic.
kids.
They're all energetic, these broads.
Yeah. Well, she was also a distant cross country and track distance runner at Cal. So you add to that initial female endurance. Yeah.
No, I do a stand-up bit about it. They want to do everything.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up.
I don't like doing anything.
I don't like it either, but I try.
They had these big giant pillows by the pool. They had a pool, and this is one of the problems with Lake Como. There's no beachfront there, so you have to swim in a pool. Right. But they had a pool that was literally probably 20 yards into the lake.
Is it southern Italy? Southern Italy?
God, I wish I knew the answer to that. I don't know.
You didn't know you were southern or northern?
I flew into Milan, wherever that is in Italy.
Northern.
Yeah, northern Italy then.
That's north, yeah.
Yeah, but they had this big pillows right by the pool. I just sat there. I had 9 magazines I hadn't read yet that were cluttering up my apartment. Just sat there for 6 hours a day.
It is fun.
Went out,
that is
got drunk at night.
That's the definition of relax. Well, I'm not done on that dead end road of drinking anymore, like yourself. But it is. That is relaxing because that is the definition of doing nothing.
Yes.
People think, oh, what do you mean, going to golf? No. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You're lucky I get to take a dump.
You just want to power your brain down when you're on these trips. You don't want to do anything.
Right.
You know?
I'm glad you guys are verbalizing
I have so
that.
much stress about
I've
work
felt
right
this
now.
way as long as I've been alive, but I've never actually said it or done it.
Then do it.
Now I
Do
want to
it.
do it.
Then say it.
I think I'm gonna.
What are you going to do?
Do nothing.
Well, I'm gonna try.
By the way, you just reminded me
about.
about football guys. For some reason, the way the angle of your face just reminded me of this. A great man died this week, Art Donovan.
Yeah.
Art Donovan, the old Baltimore Colt, who was such a character.
Yeah.
I originally saw Art Donovan on the History for the NFL, which was an HBO series, and he was telling old stories about the NFL in the 50s. And
With his flat top.
oh God, he had a couple of stories that were so amazing. He had this one story where he said, he goes, one time I said to my friend, I said, let's get Deacon Dan. I hated this guy Deacon Dan, his running back for the Rams, and Deacon Dan Talla. So I says to McCrimmon, McCrimmon, let's get Deacon Dan the next time. So next time Deacon Dan comes down and we pound him, we're really going at him. I'm pounding him in the face, and the referee says you can't do that no more. You do it again, I'm gonna fine you. I'm gonna throw you out of the game. So I go fine. And we go, listen. Forget that guy. We're just gonna get Deacon. We got Deacon Dan again. But what we didn't know is the Rams put the other fullback in, Tank Younger. And Tank Younger and Deacon Dan, they were both 6'3", 230 pounds. They were both black. So unless you knew their number, you didn't know who the hell they were, right? So the next play, we get Deacon Dan down, and I'm really going out. I'm punching him in the face, and Finland's kicking him in the back of the neck. And from underneath the pile, we hear, hey, wait, this ain't the Deke, it's the Tank. We had the wrong guy. That's and then he's talking about Bobby Lane, the old quarterback who partied a lot for Detroit. He goes, hey, I love Bobby. Bobby liked the pilot. I seen Bobby after the game, and he beamed on me. I said, geez, Bob, is that from last night? He said, nah, I had a few at halftime. So, you know, he was a good football player, but a character, tough guy. That's Art Donovan.
Yeah, he was great. I watched all those
But
too.
the political, he said they were both 6'3", 230 pounds. They're both black, so let's do that number.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Anyway,
he was old too. He was like
got
80.
there. He was a guy who should have lived. Talk about concussions, everything. Lived to be a regular on Letterman. He was always funny. Morbidly obese, and I think made it to close to 90 years old.
Yeah, I think he was 80.
Can we get info on him, guys? I want all the stats on Art Donovan.
It's always funny when guys you don't think will live long and wind up leaving these lives. George Chuvalo was similar, the boxer.
Yeah.
Like one of the most gregarious guys out there. That guy took more beatings
I met
in
Joe
the ring.
Chuvalo.
Yeah.
I met Joe
He'll
Chuvalo.
talk your ear off.
Yeah, he was funny, too.
Yeah, but he took...
Built like a brick, like really.
Like a brick, but I mean, God, he took so many poundings. He went 15 rounds with everyone and left with his brain scrambled. And it was...
Joe Chuvalo was in Dirty Work, actually. He got cut out of the movie. He got cut out of the movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Norm was a big fan of his. And we had him come in, and he was fooling around me. And I was like, come on, Joe. And he just hit me like fooling around like this. Like, oh, and it almost broke a rib. But Art Donovan, you know what we should try to do maybe for tomorrow or whatever? Try to look up the history of the NFL and try to find the two stories I just told. Another one he told was he was Y.A. Tittle and him. They were all on the road. And he goes... We get in this hotel room, and there was big bathrooms in there. And one day we're fooling around. We fill the shower all the way up to maybe about 6 feet. And we jump over the shower, and we're all, swimming around, bare ass, having a wonderful time. And somebody hits the latch, and all the water, 100 gallons of water, goes down onto the floor, and the ceiling caves in. And you know how to pay for it. Tittle. We didn't have any money. And he wouldn't talk to us after that, really. He was tighter than a clam with lock drawer. Tighter than a clam with lock drawer.
Wow.
So, yeah, maybe for tomorrow I'll find some Art Donovan stuff. But anyway, rest in peace, Art Donovan. I saw a picture of him, a guy completely bald. Maybe, I think he had the cancer, maybe.
Long life.
Artie, I would love to be able to tell you exactly how old he was, but half the papers say he's 89 and half the papers say he was 88 because they can't get it whether he was born in 1924 or 25. Correct?
Still, either way.
So, yeah.
Either way, that guy took every hit before they had helmets, basically. And he would eat 12 hot dogs before a game. 12. And he would have 2 cases of beer. And he just sat there, crapping, I guess. He said he would go under a tree and have like liverwurst and beer.
Those guys in the old days.
At 88 and 89.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I told you the story about what Jim Otto told me about keeping his weight up.
No, what did he do?
Well, Jim Otto, all-pro center for the Raiders.
Classic.
00. He was a great guy, and he, would ask me to go fishing and hunting all the time, so I'd go with him. And he said that he could never keep his weight up. So during the season, when he would drive home from Alameda, somewhere south on the peninsula, he had like a half-hour drive home. He'd stop and get a six-pack, finish it by the time he got home, where his wife had a case waiting for him.
That's a good woman. That's an old-time wife. I got a case for you, honey.
This was every single night after practice. He would drink a case and a six-pack of beer. He said to keep his weight up. Every night.
Yeah, well,
every night of the week.
That's not good weight. That's not good
No,
weight.
you'd think not,
That's not
right?
good weight.
But you're saying those are empty calories?
Yeah, so a few empty cans. Depends on what kind of beer it was.
But
These
he's a
guys
guy,
don't know from the
toughest guy in the world,
from,
though.
A workout room. These guys are just crazy.
Imagine if guys did that in today's game. They'd be crucified in the media for doing that.
Yeah,
kind of
well,
stuff.
I don't think you could pull it off.
No.
I don't think
You gotta be like
your
a
body
vegan,
would
you know?
physically be able to hold up.
For some reason, my favorite thing though about him was the Bobby Lane thing. I seen Bobby after the game, and he beamed on me. I said, "Geez, is that from last night?" Yeah, I had a few at halftime. So, he's a good football player, but a character, tough guy.
Yeah.
He beamed on me. See Bobby after the game, he beamed on me. I said, "Geez, Bobby." I said, "Geez, first of all, he just got ready. He took a shower. He's done. He's ready to go out for the night. He beans on him. So now he's got Bobby Lane's puke all over him. And all he does is go, 'Geez, Bob, what happened?' Most guys want to strangle you. 'Geez, Bob, what happened? Is that from last night or something?' No, it's good halftime. So you figure you get like a tissue. He goes, he's a character, this guy. Where are we going to eat?" Yeah, the 50s. But the great thing about that history in the NFL, too, we should try to find a bunch of that because it's one of the last things John Facenda ever did. They got John Facenda, the classic voiceover guy for NFL films, to do history of the NFL on HBO. This would be in the mid to late 80s it aired. And it's one of the last things Facenda ever did, and he does the whole thing. And he introduces stories like that. Mm-hmm. He introduces that by going, in the 50s, the meek did not inherit this turf. There were bitter rivalries amongst players and teams. One that festered for years concerned the Rams' Deacon Dan Towler and the Colts' Art Donovan.
Nice.
And then he tells that story. Yeah.
Did they have a lot of Oakland Raiders stuff on it?
Oh, God, yeah.
Because that team, those guys,
the Raiders and
stories.
Facenda. Well, the Raiders and John
incredible.
Facenda were sort of hand in hand, don't you think so?
Yeah.
Like the 70s Raiders and Facenda, they went hand in hand.
But it was custom made to tell stories about because they were living these lives that were ridiculously overblown and over exaggerated.
Well, they lived like bikers.
Yeah,
They lived like bikers, and bikers ran their camp.
Yeah.
Their summer camp was run by the Hells Angels. And they just had fun.
They did.
Yeah.
Every night, bars every night, the guys would go.
Tusac, all those guys.
Yeah, and before that, I mean, Freddie B, Freddie
Bolitnikov.
He was our wide receivers coach when I was there.
He must have been a character.
He was still crazy. But, calmed down a little bit. But
there's that great story about Cliff Branch. Ken Stabler, they're in training camp. They're running plays. And Stabler overthrows Branch. And Branch takes off his helmet, middle of a game, scrimmage game, sits on the helmet and lights a cigarette.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. No, Freddie B, they would go into the showers at halftime and light up. Who knows?
Get laid.
In the showers.
They're probably
Yeah.
So Sunday used to go, 8 months of hard work and dedication paid off for the Raiders. Once again, they stood alone at Football Summit.
Here's the thing. When I first got there, it was Gruden's first year, and he said,
Grudy?
I don't have a lot of rules, and, Mr. Davis doesn't have a lot of rules, so we got 2 rules.
Win, baby.
Win wasn't one of them, but I guess that would have been the third one.
Well, not with you there.
It was like, don't be a jerk and be on time.
And be on time.
Yeah.
Well, that's a rule.
That's it. Yeah.
We're gonna follow one of those rules. We're gonna be on time with a commercial break.
Oh.
And we'll try not to be a jerk. The Artie Lange Show. Chris Mannix has joined us.